Greetings to all. I'm Dr. Navami Gopan, Assistant Professor, Department of Pediatric and Preventive Dentistry, Meenakshi Ammal Dental College, Mahur University. Today, we are discussing self-correcting anomalies. We will be discussing the topic under the following headings. From the time of birth until adulthood and beyond, our dental occlusion goes through a series of changes. During this period of transition of dentition from pre-dentate period to the permanent dentition, there will be periods of malocclusions. These periods of malocclusions are termed as self-correcting anomalies. They are also known as transient malocclusion or transitional malocclusion. Now, why are they called transient or transitional malocclusion? Because these conditions at one point of time will look like a malocclusion. But later on, with normal growth, it will be corrected on its own without any treatment. So what are self-correcting anomalies? They are anomalies which arise in child's developing dentition during the period of transition from pre-dentate period to permanent dentition period and get corrected on their own without any dental treatment. Self-correcting anomalies are present in all the stages of development of dentition from pre-dental period to the permanent dentition. So now we are going to see what are the self-correcting anomalies present at each stage of development of occlusion and how they get corrected in brief. The pre-dental period or the pre-dentate period. In this period, the neonate does not have any teeth, and the alveolar process at the time of birth is known as gum paths. So what are the self-correcting anomalies which are present during this stage? Retrognathic mandible, anterior open bite, and infantile swallow. Retrognathic mandible, as the name suggests, in this stage, the mandible will be posteriorly placed, and this will be corrected by the cephalocaudal growth of the mandible, that is the differential and forward growth of the mandible, which is at a faster pace compared to that of maxilla. Anterior open bite. Because there are no teeth present, naturally there will be an anterior open bite, and this will be corrected by the eruption of primary incisors. Infantile swallow. In infantile swallow, the jaws are apart and the tongue will be posed between the jaws. This helps the infant in suckling. So this is corrected when the child weans off of the liquid diet and goes on to have semi-solid and later on solid diet. So this will be gradually, the infantile swallow will be gradually corrected to the mature adult swallow pattern. What are the self-correcting anomalies present in primary dentition? Anterior deep bite, primary spacing, and flush terminal plane. Anterior deep bite is corrected by the eruption of primary molars and little bit of attrition of incisal edges and forward and downward growth of mandible. Primary spacing are of two types, physiologic spacing and primate spacing. Physiologic spacing is the generalized spacing which is present between all the teeth in the oral cavity. Primate spacing is present mesial to the maxillary canine and distal to the mandibular canine. So the primary spaces are closed by the eruption of permanent teeth because permanent teeth is larger in size compared to primary. The flush terminal plane is corrected by early mesial shift. If the primary molars are in flush terminal plane, it is an indication that the normal dentition, the permanent dentition will also come up in a normal occlusion, that is class 1 end-on occlusion, which will later on go into a class 1 or a class 1 molar relation as such. What are the self-correcting anomalies in mixed dentition? They are mandibular anterior crowding, ugly duckling stage, and end-on relation of first permanent molar. Mandibular anterior crowding is corrected by the secondary spacing and the intercanine width, increase in the intercanine width and tongue pressure. Ugly duckling stage or Broadbent phenomena is corrected. Broadbent phenomena is it is due to the distal orientation of the crown due to the eruption of permanent canine. So this will be corrected when the maxillary canines erupt. The end-on relation of first permanent molar is corrected to a class 1 molar relation by late Mason shift. That is, if the molars are erupting in an end-on relation, but during late Meso shift by utilization of leeway space after the exfoliation of the deciduous molars, this molar relation is corrected to a class 1 molar relation. So these are the self-correcting anomalies which are present at different stages of development of dentition and how they get corrected. We all know that it is very important for a dentist to know about the development of dentition, because if only we know the normal, can we identify any deviation from normal, and if required, have a early intervention, and do not and refrain from any intervention if it is a self-correcting anomaly, and let the growth and development do its job. So it is very important for a dentist to have a thorough knowledge about the development of dentition. So this brings us to the end of our short session. These are my references. Hope the session was helpful to you all. Thank you for your patient listening and have a nice day. Thank you.